In a few short months in 2023, the COP28, billed as the Global Climate Change Summit, will take place. So, what is COP28? Where and when will it be held? Who will attend? What does the programme cover? And what are its goals and objectives? Let's take a look. Welcome to EMSmastery, where we look at the successful strategies and tactics to master environmental management and sustainability. If we're meeting for the first time, my name is Andrew Marlowe. So, by now you may already be aware that COP28 is expected to be held later in 2023. However, there are vital questions that are begging to be answered. So here goes. COP28 sounds a strange title to give to such an important global meeting. The COP is a global summit on climate change held by the parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, also known as UNFCCC, which is an international treaty with the objective to prevent dangerous human interference in the climate system, primarily by stabilising greenhouse gas emissions. The summit is known as the Conference of the Parties, or COP for short. The first COP was held in Berlin in 1995 and has been held every year since, say for 2020, except when there was a postponement due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And this year's meeting will be the 28th annual summit, which is why it's called COP28. If you're getting value out of this episode, please click on the like button. And if you want to see more environmental and sustainability videos, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. COP28 will be held in the Expo City, Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates. It is well placed for holding the COP28 as the city is specially designed as a way of attracting international conferences and diplomatic meetings to the area in the United Arab Emirates. As the first country in the region to ratify the Paris Agreement, the first to commit to economy-wide reduction in emissions, and the first to announce a net zero by 2050 as a strategic initiative, the United Arab Emirates is committed to raising ambition in this critical area of climate change over the next decade. Their 2015 nationally determined contribution made the United Arab Emirates the first country in the region to commit to an economy-wide reduction in emissions by 2030 and launched the National Net Zero by 2050 pathway in November 2022, which sets the time frame and identifies the mechanisms to implement the UAE's Net Zero by 2050 strategic initiative. The United Arab Emirates is also one of only 29 countries to submit a revised second nationally determined contribution ahead of COP27 in 2022, with its enhanced target expected to translate into an absolute emissions reduction of 93.2 million metric tonnes of CO2 equivalent. However, the United Arab Emirates is not without some legacy issues in terms of the appointment of Sultan Al Jaber as the COP28 president-designate, which has provoked a furious backlash from climate activists and civil society groups, as he is also head of the state oil giant Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, one of the world's largest oil companies. As one of the climate activists said, This appointment goes beyond putting the fox in charge of the henhouse. COP28 is scheduled to be held from the 30th of November until the 12th of December 2023. Whilst the COP28 programme has not been fully finalised, the COP28 programme is expected to cover different themes, and each day will have a theme on its own, such as Finance Day, a day for water, decarbonisation, science, solutions, gender, energy, diversity, and Youth Day and Civil Society Day. Nearly all of the countries in the world are party to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. There are expected to be approximately 200 world leaders, 30,000 delegates, and a total of 70,000 participants to attend and take part in the discussions and report back on progress since the 2015 Paris Agreement. The United Arab Emirates, as the host country for COP28, will host the first ever global stocktake, which will assess the world's response to the climate crisis and highlight urgent actions to take. The final political phase of the process is now underway, which will conclude at COP28 with recommendations and political messages through the global stocktake mechanism. The UNFCCC Executive Secretary, Simon Stiell, has described the global stocktake as a moment of truth, but added that it must guide the world, sector by sector, region by region, actor by actor, on what surgical interventions must take place to align with a 1.5 Celsius world. The newly appointed COP President, Dr. Sultan Al Jaber, who himself is an oil executive, whose appointment deeply concerns climate activists, has highlighted the major role that the stocktake will play, noting that the world is playing catch-up when it comes to the key Paris Agreement goal of holding temperatures to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And the global stocktake will be a crucial tool to achieve and accomplish transformation to accomplish that aim. This global stocktake should be viewed against the backdrop of a world recovering from COVID-19 and its impacts, the ongoing Russian war instigated on Ukraine, increased inflation, and the US-EU trade tensions over the US Inflation Reduction Act and the EU's own Green Industrial Plan. This overall goal and vision will be supported by sub-goals covering the following themes: taking recommendations about the loss and damage agreement and its operation, creation of a framework for the $100 billion adaptation funding goal set in 2009 at COP15, an update regarding the multi-hazard early warning system, a discussion on the global goal of adaptation, and finally pursuing and pushing forward with other projects, including upgrading food production processes and ocean safety and other concerns. Further information on the issues presented in this episode are available from the COP28 website and from the United Nations FCCC websites. So, to summarise, we should all hope that COP28 will reignite the positivity for dealing with climate change and to make practical and significant steps to ensure that all parties can deliver on the Paris Agreement commitment for holding the increase in the global average temperature to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, and pursuing efforts to limit the temperature increases to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. None more so than the accountability of each country under the global stocktake and the necessary actions to improve their individual nationally determined contributions and their achievement of real commitments to meet their own NDC targets. In the run-up to the COP28 summit, I will aim to provide other episodes to help in understanding climate change and the actions that you can take both as an environmental and sustainability manager or consultant or as an individual. If this episode has helped to advance your understanding of the COP28 summit, please leave a comment in the box below if this video has helped you. Further information on COP28 and references to the documents mentioned in this episode are given in the description box below, including a link to the resources on the EMSmastery.com website. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel to ensure that you don't miss out on other episodes on environmental management and sustainability. Until then, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this video, you can watch other episodes by clicking on the boxes in the top and bottom right, and to subscribe to this channel, click on the link to the left. Thank you.